Get up my knees. Hey guys, welcome back to our YouTube channel. Okay, I forgot my mic. Okay. Hey guys, welcome back to our YouTube channel, and this is going to be our first Pack With Me video that I've done on YouTube. And if you guys don't know Wildside, I started this business about 8 years ago, inspired by our golden retrievers, basically struggling to look for products, dog gear that were meant for big dogs and also cute and functional. So that was hard to find 8 years ago. So fast forward, here we are. We have a whole product line made for dogs, made for big dogs that likes to adventure, such as swimming, hiking, playing in the snow. But I hope you guys will stay. Today we're just gonna pack some orders and we're gonna talk about tariff tax and how this affects small businesses like mine and what you can do as a consumer to help small businesses, what to expect, etc. But if you have any questions, just comment it below. I am not an expert on this. I'm just going off of what I know that is being pushed out in the news daily. And as of right now, tariff tax is at a 124%, which is insane. Basically, tariff is a tax that you pay when you import goods from another country. To give you guys an example, for instance, or manufacture something from China, I will have to pay tariff tax also on top of customs and shipping. Okay, so to give you guys an example, if I make a purchase overseas from China specifically, like a manufacturing order, and let's just ballpark a number, $10,000 for that order, which is a pretty little order. My orders are usually way bigger than that. So if you take $10,000 times that by 124%, that means I'm going to have to pay an additional $12,400 on that order. Like, it just doesn't even make any sense for me. So I've put a stop on my manufacturing orders for now, just until we figure out what we're going to do with our negotiation with China. It just doesn't make sense for me to pay that much, because a dog harness would cost over $126 if we did that, which would not be good. And another fact is, when I first heard about this, I was in the middle of deciding if I was going to place another order or not. For my items are out of stock. As you can see, a lot of my bins are empty. I'm out of a lot of sizes. And did you want to speak? What do you have to say? And it's just been really difficult to restock, on top of being super slow for the past 2 years. That's just another topic for another day. So this is where we are with the tariff tax. I'm going to hold off on any production for this year. So the other day, I actually sent an email to my customers last week to let them know the situation. Very transparent when it comes to my business. I don't sugarcoat a lot of things. Running a small business, it's not all wrinkles. It's not all sprinkles and unicorns. Sorry. There's a lot of hardship in running your own business. There are a lot of things that are great too, but at the same time, I feel like more hardship than anything. From the past 8 years, I've been running a business very hard to profit. As a small business that struggles, I've had my good times, really high times where we made a lot of sales, and then I've gone through some really, really dark and bad times where things just are not going right for the longest time, and I just don't know what to do anymore. So yeah, tariff tax is definitely going to impact a lot of small businesses, medium-sized businesses. I'm sure it's going to impact big businesses as well, because they all kind of work together as an ecosystem. Just because something is made in America doesn't mean it's fully made in America, if that makes sense. Because they may get their parts from China, they may get materials from another country. So even if something that says it's made in America, there is a good chance that the prices will go up on those items too. And it comes down to everyday items, even like an avocado, because that comes from Mexico. That's going to go up in prices. If you like Korean skincare, Japanese, like I do, that stuff is going to go up. I'm thinking Amazon, everything on Amazon is going to go up too. Actually thinking about canceling a membership because I feel like I buy more if I have Amazon account. If I don't, maybe I'll buy less stuff. Or even a restaurant, your local restaurant may have to increase their prices because they get their sashimi from Japan. So there are a lot of factors, even with coffee shops. They import their beans. So I feel like our daily lives will be impacted because of this new tariff thing that's going on. Now, you're probably wondering like if tariff tax is a good or bad thing. I don't know. I think it's up to the person, and I'm not going to get political or anything here because I do not like talking about that. I just want to stick on the topic of tariff tax and what it does and, what we can expect. Just from my personal perspective, like I said, I am not an expert. Supposedly, it's to help the United States get out of debt because we are poor. We are in so much debt. We're probably one of the most in-debt countries out there. So this is what was told and stuff that I've heard online too, that the goal of this is to get us out of debt. We were already charging 10%, I believe, but now he wants to charge more, and we're just going back and forth with negotiation. The bad thing is we are going to be impacted. There's going to be more inflation on top of what we're already going through. So I'm just not looking forward to that. I've been saving when I can. I've canceled a lot of subscriptions for my business. I've done a lot more like free-based apps for my Shopify store. I've been working harder on organic traffic, building a YouTube channel, working on multiple streams of income just to have some cushion, maybe even getting a part-time job just to support my business because things are just so slow. And that's just the transparent fact with running a small business because it can be so volatile. You just never know what is going to happen next month, next week, next year, 2 years from now. Just think about like a couple of years ago during COVID, when people had all that extra money to spend, the stimulus money, and small businesses, they were booming. They were booming. Businesses that were just open, they were doing so well without any paid ads, and it was just like organic. People were getting sales left and right. And that was my most successful year. I was actually running 2 businesses. One was for supplies for face masks. I was importing that stuff, and it was just going through the roof of the sales. I've never seen like $20,000 months and stuff like that, plus 20,000 plus months. And that was nice. I even hired some help at that time because I had the room to do that. I saw a lot of people spending money that they don't have or they shouldn't have, and building up all these small businesses, and a lot of them opened up a brick and mortar store, or they expanded so much. They got a giant warehouse. And 2 years after that, I am seeing so many small businesses like close up, leaving their warehouses, closing their brick and mortar. And all the new businesses that opened around that time have closed already because it's not all butterflies, rainbows, sprinkles, whatever. It is hard work when you have a small business, and you're going to go through that roller coaster ride of when you first open up, it's going to be yay, through like the mid time of opening up, like a couple years later, it's going to be like, and then you're going to go through like growing pains, and then you're going to go through another roller coaster again. I don't know any small businesses out there that have just been on a high like since day one, and they never have any bad days, years, or months. That's just my 2 cents. And if you see small businesses talk about just their success on social media, that's just social media for you. I mean, some businesses, like I saw so many businesses, small businesses go viral during that time on TikTok, but now they're getting like less than 500 views. And all they did was just kind of depend on TikTok and going viral. And that was their business model. Business models like that did not exist before. But I know times are changing and marketing is different. But it's just sad to see how things have shifted for small businesses that are not as seasoned. And now they're suffering because how our economy can be. And that's just the hard truth with small businesses. We just have to roll with it and we just have to adapt. So I'm actually going to start packing. We've talked about a lot of things. I have everything written down here because I still don't. It's still very hard for me to come up with like topics easily while I am on YouTube. So we have an order for Katie going to Virginia. And she has been a long-time customer. This is for her dog, River. And she ordered the Yeti in the Alps and the Sea Buddy. And both of these collars are rust proof, which means your dogs can go swimming, go to the beach, and you would not have to worry about the hardware rusting. Most of the big box stores that you buy collars at, the metals are made from zinc, which is not a very strong metal, and they will rust. This is stainless steel. It's super strong. They use these on boats. And I use extreme sturdy buckles. They are super durable and they're really hard. And these are the only buckles that I will use for my company because I would not want my dog to wear anything, or I would not want anybody else's dog to wear anything that my dogs would not wear. And then the material is a type of webbing. They're not like your cotton fabric where cotton fabrics, they fray easily and they do not last. UV resistant. So if your dogs are in the sun, these collars will not fade. This is actually our items that kind of started Wildside, rust proof dog collars. And these are in size 1.5 width. I offer 2 widths. One is 1.5 for bigger dogs, so that way the weight can distribute evenly versus a bigger dog wearing a collar that's too thin for them, which can cause choking hazard. I have 1-inch collars and they're usually for smaller dogs, like medium-sized dogs. I would say like under 35 pounds. So this is a size large and they are also adjustable like this. So our size large fits 15 length to 20 inches this. So once adjusted, it is a bigger collar. So I have these tags that I get them printed. I actually made them and it's just our logo, and then on the back it has the information of our tags, and then it has like the sizes that I check off, and there's a QR code for people to scan to get on our website. And it says on them, like the front I have our logo and it says made for everyday adventures, everyday walks, weatherproof, swimming, rust proof. And the back it says the perfect blend of style and strength for every walk and every adventure. Wildside collars are designed for dogs who love to explore, swim, hike, and strut their stuff. Because I also believe in cute designs. Our tagline is for dogs who go hard and look good doing it. Okay, and I just put these on the collars. And since this already, her other collar that she ordered, it's our padded collar. And these are the ones that I actually manufacture. They are padded on the back. So for dogs with more sensitive skin, these are the collars that they would wear. And it comes with a little tag here that you can hang a dog tags on. Some people like that because it doesn't jingle and then hit the buckle. This is the padded dog collar in our Aurora Peak. This is actually our best selling design that I've had for years. And I just recently updated it with these constellation stars. And I'm thinking about bringing back the sister print of this, which is like a hot pink. Okay, so we have our homemade cookies. I bet my dogs will come down because they hear me opening this. These are our homemade cookies. This is Winter's recipe because she's allergic to peanut butter, oats, and pea flour. So I just use this recipe to make cookies for my customers, and they seem to love them, and they smell so good. So I have these 4x6 bags that I use for our cookies and as an insert. I'll link them down. I'll link my supplies down below, or I'll link my Amazon store below for my office so you guys can see some of the stuff that I use for my business. So here is a card that I made. This I just made in-house. Did I make this? I think I did. I made this in-house just on a regular printer, heavy stock. That's going to be in my Amazon store as well. And basically it just says, has our branding on it, and it says hi, and I left it blank so that way I can just fill in the name. Thank you for your order. We hope you and your pup love it as much as we love creating it. Your support means the world to us and helps keep our dreams alive. Designing durable, high quality dog gear that brings you and your furry friend closer together. Warm wishes, Candy Wildside Dog Gear. And there has our handle for our Instagram for our customers to tag us. And we also have a leave a review and win, a QR code. So if a customer leaves a review for that month, we do a monthly drawing for a $25 gift card if we just randomly pick your review. That will encourage a customer to leave a review and they get to shop more. Okay, so I'm just going to use a pen. All right. And what else goes in here is I have a little printout of all the ingredients that are in the cookie because there are dogs out there that are allergic to certain ingredients. I just want to make sure and be very clear with that because we don't want any dogs with allergies to eat that. And I'll put a cookie in here. I made them thick enough, strong enough, so that way they don't break on the way. I am in the process of actually posting the video with the recipe. If you want it, just comment below, and once it's up, I'll just let you guys know. These are our other thank you bookmarks. I thought it would be neat to make this into a bookmark so that way people can use it as a bookmark and be reminded of our company. So right here it says I'm a bookmark, and it just says thank you so much for your support with our branding again. And then I also have these printed. These are also printed in-house just on a regular printer, and it's just a little blank sheet for a note. What I like to do is I like to write a handwritten note with every order. So if this is a returning customer, I will put like how many orders it's been for them. But right now, since we're filming, I have no idea, but I know it's Katie's like 10th order or 15th or 20th with us. So I'll just write her a note if she can read my chicken scratch. And I always sign off as Auntie Candy because I feel like I'm like every dog's auntie. I also have candy that I put in there too for the dog parents, so they get a treat as well. Thank you for supporting our small business. I print these on our Roland DN20A machine, which is an eco-solvent big format printer. If you guys want any stickers for your small business, just let me know. I'm actually going to get that started up once I am ready. So they get a sticker and they get this cute little package for their order. I feel like that was so much effort, right? And then this is the invoice. Double check again. I typically like triple check everything just because I don't like to make big mistakes if I can, like, to prevent them. So this is going to be a smaller mailer. I used to spend a lot of money on custom packaging, but since people just kind of, they open the order and they just throw it away, and I just thought that was just not really worth it because each box cost like $1 to $2. So I had to cut spending a while back. So I stopped offering them. And, you know, and I really think it's more important, like what's in the package. Okay, so I'm gonna put everything in here. I usually put my biggest items first. And I'll write the order number on here so that way I can reference it when I ship it out at our shipping station, and I'll double check again. Just because our shipping station, like my computer is super slow, I don't want to do this filming over there. So this is ready. I'll put this over here. I've got quite a few orders from our email the other day, which basically told our customers that since we will not be restocking our items anytime soon, if there's something that you guys been eyeing, please get it now, because I am already very low on a lot of items, as you can see, if not sold out already. Okay, next we have an order going to Sean in Virginia, and this is our Ohana dog harness with this cute rainbow print. If you guys like teal, this would be the type of dog harness you should get. And if you have a dog that hates anything being put over their head, this harness is designed for them, because you can just put it on like a dog collar. And there is 4 adjustment points where you can adjust the harness to give your dog a proper fit. And another thing that I love about our harnesses is the control handle. So let's say if you guys are in a busy situation like a farmer's market, gives you an option to hold your dog close, or if you guys are on a hike, other people are passing by. I love this handle for that feature. It's also reflective and it's breathable. There's also front and back D-ring as well. So what I'm going to do with this is I usually inspect everything, like these safety locks, the buckles, to make sure they work properly. And I also check to see if there's like any like loose thread hanging off. It just looks bad. So I just give this a quick inspection, give this a tag. Anyway, so the next topic about the tariff tax, I know a lot of people will probably ask, like, so why don't you just manufacture in the United States? I would if I could. I know that was the agenda, and provide more jobs for the US, but that is just not sustainable, because a dog harness would just cost way too much for manufacturing, because they don't have that same infrastructure like China does. And they are good at what they do, because they and I've been working with my manufacturer for quite a while. We've had some hiccups on the way, but we've worked through them. Finding a manufacturer is extremely hard, so it kind of feels like I'm just throwing my efforts away. So this is Sean's first order. I remember when I saw it, so I'm going to thank him for his first order with us. So instead of giving him the I support small business, I think I'm going to give him a dog dad sticker instead. So let's see. I think this is cute. Dog dad. These are our designs, and they're also on our website, and you can grab them. They are vinyl stickers. They are waterproof, super durable, printed in-house, designed by me. All right, and let's get him Jolly Rancher. Okay, so back to what we were talking about. Manufacturing in the United States is just really expensive. It's just not sustainable, unfortunately. And I have looked before, and I've wanted to do that before, just because of the long lead time that sometimes I have to wait with my manufacturer, or sometimes, you know, if we go through a really bad like rift with that product being sent and something that we didn't agree on, I'll start looking for a new manufacturer. But looking for a new manufacturer is such a pain. I have gone through this a few times, and I've been burned many times. So if you're a small business and you ask other small businesses of who their manufacturers are, and they tell you do your own work, don't get mad at us because we spent so much money, so much research on testing and finding our suppliers. It just doesn't work that way if you're a small business. Like, I feel like you should do the job of being a small business and don't be lazy. We are not entitled to give you that information. So, anyway. Next, we have Tabitha, and she ordered our Wild Meadows poop bag holder, and this can hold up to 3 poop bags. This is actually in our clearance bin that I just set up the other day. I think we only have 1 left. A couple of people already grabbed some. I'm phasing out these poop bag holders, but they are great. I still have mine from years ago. I mean, I don't know if I should bring in new designs. I don't know. What do you guys think? So for Tabitha, I think she's had like 20 orders with us. Thank you so much, Tabitha. What are some things that small business are doing now because of this? What I'm seeing in my community, my small business community, I am seeing people looking for local resources for their business and just basically figuring out what they're going to do next because they're freaking out. We don't have supplies, we don't make any money. And even if small businesses look for a supplier in the States, I feel like they are still going to go through a price increase because the suppliers get their materials from other places as well. So like, for example, the collars that I showed you earlier, I purchased all that material in the States, even the webbing, it's printed in the States. But I know for a fact that the webbing manufacturer, they get their webbing, blank webbing to print on from China. So there's going to be an increase in that too. And these are the type of emails that I keep seeing in my inbox from small businesses letting their customers know. This is going to make or break a lot of small businesses out there. It's just very, very tragic. But all we can do right now, it's basically focus on the good while we can, because if we don't, we are just going to stress ourselves away and we're just not going to feel well. Because I've been through that. Since I am just coming back from a really bad burnout where I almost wanted to leave my business. And then when I came back, all this stuff started happening. So, I mean, I feel like none of this is preventable. You just have to kind of go with the flow. Next, we have the Tahoma Peak. Oh, this is actually for my neighbor. So I will actually pack this later. All right, let's pack Jamie's order. And she actually lives in Utah. She's also a repeat customer. And she purchased the Tahoma Peak padded collar in the large and the double handle leash, which is also padded as well. This design here was inspired by our late golden retriever, Tahoma, that we rescued. A senior that we rescued, I think about 2 years ago. I'm really bad with dates, but he passed away last year around this time. So this kind of, it's nice to see that people buy something that can remind me of him every day. And it's a green color with some mountains in the back and a sun. And I was inspired by him to make this because the first time when I saw his photo from the rescue was in a really grassy area from what I remembered. And he was at Canada at the time for the quarantine. So I thought the mountains were perfect. He was actually rescued from China, from the meat trade. He was on the way in a truck with many other dogs to be slaughtered for the Chinese festival that eats dogs, which is totally horrible. Do not look that up. It's just such a horrible thing. So we are packing up the leash, the collar, and she also got the poop bag holder, used poop bag holder. So you put this on your leash and you put your bags through this loop, like the poop that your dog poops on their walks, so you don't have to hold it by hand or look for a trash can, and you can just throw it away when you get home. I have this color and a pink color left. I don't have many of them because we are phasing them out. But yeah, all of our designs, they are always inspired by our travels, our dogs, just anything. And I design most of them myself. Next week is actually, or this week, I'm very behind, is design week. If you guys have any ideas that you would like me to work on, let me know, because I'm always looking for new ideas. I am doing some redesigns, some summer stuff, maybe some evergreen, fall, and probably Christmas soon. And right now it's April. And she had left a note. It says, when the Tahoma Peak is back in large, it will be an immediate buy. Thank you for being amazing. Thank you so much, Jamie, for the note. I am so sad to tell you that I don't know when that will be back in stock. So we'll just see how this tariff tax goes. It's just hard times for everybody right now, on top of not making enough money to place these big orders. So with the extra tariff tax, that's an absolutely no for me, unless I want to go bankrupt, which feels like already poor. Let's do a turtle. Cute turtle. I actually love doing these long format videos because I feel like I do talk a lot. And short form, I think short form videos that you see on like TikTok and stuff, they're more for entertainment. I like making those, but I don't love making them, just because I feel like it just takes so much more effort to think about how to make those. With the tariff tax, I have a question written down, such as, what should we do as a consumer? Not freak out is one of it. Don't go out, buy a bunch of toilet paper like people did during COVID. Just live your daily lives and maybe cut back on some spending if you can. And if you do spend, think about the small businesses and support them. There was another post that I made about the tariff tax was that everyone commented, they shared, they saved, they liked. It was all the engagement that really helped the algorithm to get the post to more people. And I actually have not seen my post get that many engagement before, like just from a single picture post. And I was just so thankful because that day I received several orders, which I have not seen for so long because I've been so slow. And it really gave me hope that I could turn things around, and there's a chance for Wildside to stick around if we focus on helping each other. Like that could really help. And it was just a simple act of someone just sharing to their stories that shared it to their followers, the group of people that are also probably dog parents, and it got in front of them. And that little small act helped in such a big way for my small business. I'm very thankful for that. So I think for consumers, just doing something small, commit to sharing a business once a week, referring to your friends and family, liking, commenting when you can. I think those small acts really helps, because a lot of small businesses, we're not content creators. We had to adapt and learn how to do all this. So having Instagram or whatever the platform that they use to find their people, or depending on the algorithm, it's really daunting because you just never know when or if people will see your post, and you're just working so hard to get your products out there because you believe that your products can change other dog parents' lives or just other people's lives in general. Because my why is because I couldn't find anything for my dog while I was in the store when he was a puppy, that I wanted him to wear. There was nothing durable, there was nothing cute or functional, and that was basically how Wild Size started. And my mission is to get our products to as many dog parents out there as possible. But sometimes I'm just lost because I don't do any more paid ads anymore. I just can't afford that. I spent over $20,000 last year, the year before. This year, I'm just depending on going organic because I don't want to gamble anymore. With running ads, you have good days and you have bad days. I cannot afford any bad days, period. So I'm just going to depend on social media, free organic traffic like SEO, email marketing, social media, and building a community. And probably content that people want to see. So that's why I'm on YouTube. Because I feel like it was just long overdue. Okay, next we have an order going to Todd in Illinois. So he ordered 2 harnesses, or click and go harnesses, in the Mount Millie, which is inspired by Millie that was here earlier. We named Millie after Millie Express at Brighton Resort because my husband and I, we're very big on snowboarding. We've been snowboarding for over 20 years. I feel like we haven't missed a weekend since we started snowboarding a long time ago. But anyway, like all of our dogs have names that are inspired by snowboarding. Hence, all of our design is very outdoorsy. There are some snowboarding designs, mountain designs, stuff like that. So this is called Mount Millicent because she inspired me, and purple has always been her color since she was a puppy. And I just love like the pink and the purple together, that combination. And I specifically designed this purple. Out of all the purples in the world, I wanted this purple because it reminded me of her. This is the Aurora Peak, one of our most highly sought after design, even though it's black, like I just never knew like a black harness would do so well. But I guess because it's so subtle and it's not like screaming at you, this is my favorite too. I love the Aurora Peak. We always sell out when I restock, no matter what. So I'm gonna get this pack for Todd. So this looks like it's for 2 dogs, and I always check the quantity, which is 1. I don't want to mess that up. And we're gonna get 2 cookies for Todd, and I'm gonna give him a dog dad sticker, maybe like an adventure sticker, just because I feel like, I don't know if the dog dads use the stickers that says I support small businesses. I just don't see that. Maybe I'm wrong. And is this Todd's first order? I always like to put this on the outside because it just looks a lot better. And I like to put the cookie insert outside on the back because I want the dog parents to see these ingredients immediately. I'm not sure if they read it or maybe after. I guess like unless their dog has like allergies, they don't really read that. So I'm gonna give them the whale and the crab. I'm gonna give Todd this, maybe the sticker says treat dealer. We're going to do a quick inspection. So these are actually our packaging that I had designed with a branding company. I worked with them to redesign my brand and also to have them create these retail packaging for us. I'm very happy that I did that because it just looks so much more professional. Bad thing is I don't have enough inventory to reach out to any more retail stores right now. The other thing I wanted to talk about was last year when I was looking for a fulfillment center. A fulfillment center is basically a warehouse that you have your products shipped to, and they process the orders for you, and they ship things on their end. They deal with the logistics and stuff like that. So last year I was trying to grow. We'll talk about it as we pack. So this is our Luna harness going to Lily. in Connecticut. This was one of our very first design. It's like a boho mud cloth design. It was actually pretty popular. I was trying to grow, and I would probably say maybe I was trying to grow too fast for my pace, and it just didn't work out. So basically with the fulfillment center, I had called around and did a lot of research on different types of fulfillment centers. And most of them, I did not meet their requirement of how many orders a day, how many more orders a month. They wanted like 50 orders a day, stuff like that, which was way too much. I just did not produce that many sales to hire a fulfillment center that was not even near me. And I actually found a fulfillment center in Utah. So I was really stoked about that. I even went in to visit them, to talk to them. Basically, I had a shipment that was on pre-order. So I was already freaking out about that just because people had paid and they had to wait and had some delays. And I just don't like that. That gives me really bad anxiety. So I don't love pre-orders that much. I'm always thinking like people are going to get upset at me because they order something, they don't have it yet. But I was really clear with communication when they should expect the shipment to be shipped, etc. Shipment was the first shipment that was going to the warehouse. And when the shipment arrived, I drove down like an hour, because this place is like an hour from me, to meet with them, to chat with them, to check on inventory, to make sure everything was in good shape, and then we can ship it out. So I did that, and I got them set up. I set up my system on my end. I had to set up like a shipping system on my end so I can pay for it at the same time, and I would pay per piece. I would pay per piece for each item being shipped. And the cost wasn't that bad. They had no minimum, but the thing was, we also did not have a contract. So that was my bad, and a very bad overlook on my end, because that caused a lot of issues. I went with my feelings, which is probably something that you should never do with a small business, because we need paper. We need a paper trail. We need a contract. Going off of your feelings, it's going to hurt you. Because I thought, well, this is a small mom and pop organization. They seem really nice. Like, it shouldn't cause any issues. I was really wrong about this. So when it came time to ship out the orders, they messed up on so many orders, like going to different people. And I think the main reason why they messed up was because they're just not familiar with items in general. And I don't think they looked at the invoices twice to even match. And all of the orders were spread out on tables like this, but I could tell there's something in the back of my mind. I could just tell like something would like fall over here, or like, things would just get like mangled up, and people were getting the wrong orders. And what was the worst for me was some of these were like new customers, and I felt like we were making a bad impression as their first time customer. First, the pre-order, they had to wait. Second, we messed up. So to me, that was just a really bad impression, and it's really hard to gain someone's trust back after that, to pay extra for shipping to get the items back. I had to do some refunds, I had to do some discounts. So I lost some money on that release, fixed things. So I was just really upset with the whole situation, and I was supposed to go on vacation around that time for like a month with my mom, and I didn't want to stress while I was away. So I just ended up driving down with my husband with his F-150 and picking up all the inventory in the warehouse. I'll have a picture to show you guys what his truck looked like when we got everything in the truck, because it was just filled to the brim in the bed and in the back, in the front. Whatever room possible, we were stuffing it. And getting my stuff out of there was a hassle. Like, the company, like the owner didn't even live in Utah. She lived in Arizona. So it was just kind of weird. And the people that worked there told me that they haven't even seen this lady since they've opened like years ago, which she doesn't even make any tours in the warehouse, and these employees are just left there to do everything on their own. So that was already like sketch to me. Wish I found that out in the beginning, because if I had a business, you would see me very hands-on, unless I'm a silent investor or something like that. So she wouldn't let me leave because she wanted me to settle the invoice. And I told her, like, you can trust me, like I will pay the invoice, like, you know where I live, you have my information, you know my business, like just bill me when you get home. And they didn't want to do that. So I had to wait there forever for her to get the invoice to them and to get it to me. And she also wouldn't let me pay credit card, which was really weird. I guess they were trying to avoid the fees. So I had to go find a bank to get a cashier's check. That was pretty annoying to me that they didn't accept credit cards. So that also kind of like made me question, like, are they doing something illegal? Why they won't take credit cards as well? So that was just a really eye-opening experience, to not trust people just because they seem nice when you meet them. You know, always have that paper trail contract. And we ended up, that same day I went to Home Depot and got a bunch of bins that you see in the back, and I set up these inventory bins in my house instead, and just brought everything back. You know, the main reason why I wanted to have a fulfillment center do the shipping for me was because I wanted to spend more time with my mom. She lives in Virginia Beach, and that's where I'm originally from. I want to spend more time with her, not having to worry about packing orders and stuff like that. But that was not possible. And my husband was like, you know, I'll help you pack your orders while you're gone on your vacation, which I'm very thankful for him for helping out. But here we are now. We're just back to packing out of our house, which works out great in a way. Maybe it was a sign, because it's just been so slow. There was just no way for me to be sustainable after that. And the reason why my business became so slow, because I was in a partnership with a really big brand, and I had dropped them. I was with them for a couple of years. I didn't want to work with them anymore because I just didn't like how they were running operations and how they were ripping off like small business owners like us. Maybe I'll get into that one day, but I'm not going to now. They spent a lot of money on marketing rolled over to us, where that traffic would like get referred to us, and I was depending on that. I had no idea how big of a dip I would take after dropping them. That was not smart of me. I feel like 80% of my customers needed that item, and that was where they came from. So basically, I am rebuilding my business from the start. So yeah, that was kind of how my fulfillment center warehouse thing ended, and I haven't thought about it since. I'm just not quite ready. I thought I was not. So that was an eye-opener of, you know, thinking that I was ready to do something like that, and just was not. Cost me a lot of money, a lot of stress, a lot of sleepless nights. I'm just glad that it's over, because this happened last year and I have not talked about it since, because I just had to let some time pass, because I didn't want to sound angry with the situation. So this is a cute order. This is our Aurora Peak polar bear design. This is inspired by Winter, our dog, because she just reminds me of a polar bear. And I took all of our favorite colors and made it an ombre background. And there's also a very subtle like mountain like geometry shape in the background as well. And I love this color because I had to have the perfect blue. I'm going to show you guys. I thought this was the most perfect blue that I could get on a harness, and I just love this color on her. She's so cute in it. So everything is always inspired by our dogs. This was from our clearance bin. This is a beanie with the snowboarding dog on it, inspired by Millie. She was my inspiration, so this is actually her on it. I drew her and she's actually on a snowboard. And this is our cherry blossom tote bag that also drew. Cherry blossom is inspired from my trip last year when I went to Japan. And I just fell in love with the different types of cherry blossoms that was there, because there's actually many types of cherry blossoms. And I think my favorite one is the plum blossom, which is usually this color or this color. And they're made on a very heavy duty tote material. I wanted to finish selling these because I have new ones that I'm going to be making, which is the pink and the purple one. Those were our best seller for color wise. So I'm going to put this in a bag. Let me see, let me find a bag for this real quick. I love our tote bags because they are not the flimsy cheap ones that you find in a store. It took me a little while to source durable tote bags because I don't want a cheap tote bag. You know, nobody wants a cheap tote bag. I'm gonna write her stuff and I'm gonna put everything in one. So Megan has ordered with us so many times. Thank you so much, Megan. And she grabbed our last of the tote bag and the beanie from our clearance sale. So she definitely got a very good deal on it. Guys, haven't been to my website yet. That I just set up a clearance section, which was just really long overdue. And the stuff is 20 to like 46% off. I'm just trying to make room for new stuff. Also, let me know what kind of designs I should do next for these tote bags. I cannot think of any designs for some reason, what I should do for them. But thank you so much for joining me today with packing orders and chatting about tariffs and stuff. I hope I was able to give you some insight on how that works with small businesses, what it will do to affect and what you can do. And don't forget to subscribe. My first time saying that. Subscribe and give this video a like so that way I can grow my channel. And I hope you guys have an amazing day, and thank you so much again. And don't forget to support your small businesses by sharing and liking, subscribing to their channel if it's on YouTube, or just following them. Bye. Hey, stay. Winter.